Howard Mooney, and this is Inside the TMC Family. And I have one of my friends here with me today, and I'm like super excited to be able to do this interview. Tracey King, who is the COO of Partners Credit and Verification Solutions. Tracey, thanks for doing this with me.
I'm excited. I'm
I
very
am
excited.
too. We just recently got to spend some time together, but I don't think any of these questions and all of the mortgage stuff that we talked about, I don't think any of these questions came up. So I'm excited to get to learn more about your personal story. So
Thank
here
you.
we go.
Okay.
What was your first job that you ever had?
I was 15 and I was super excited to start working. I don't know why. I wanted my own money. And I was
That's why.
I don't know what the political term would be. I was a bus girl at a restaurant called Fresh Starts. And I am such an advocate for everyone working in the service industry. So you know what it means to be treated a certain way and how to treat people. And I hustled around and brought bread baskets and desserts and water and just did all the kind of running around for the waiters, and I absolutely loved it.
Oh, fantastic. I always say those first jobs, a lot of the time, usually either teach you what you want to do
Hmm.
and kind of point you in a direction, or they motivate you to be doing something different a lot of the time. But it
Yes.
doesn't surprise me that, like in the service industry, I would think that you would, I know you would do really, really well in that, even as a
Well,
young person. 'Cause that's just,
it teaches you how to read a person a little bit. So that was my first lesson on how to navigate people. Yeah.
and a great one to learn.
Yeah.
Share with me then how you went from that at a very early age. How did you end up in the mortgage space?
So it is, as everybody's is, a random story. So
Oh,
I went to college for conflict studies. I studied in South Africa. I thought I was going
oh
to
wow.
change the world and do all this. And I worked for a nonprofit in Chicago, on the inner city in the South Side. And that was my first job after college, and it didn't go well. And my parents were freaking out, and I had an apartment in the city I couldn't afford. And my godfather at the time was president of a company called Old Republic Credit Services.
No
And he said,
way.
come in, apply. You can do this while you figure everything out. So I came in, I applied, and at that time it was about five dudes in an office in Chicago. And I got the job, and I guess I'm still figuring out life because I'm still there 22 years later. So that's how I started. And I was able to kind of grow as the company grew. And every time I thought, okay, maybe I'm going to do something else, something would kind of pull me back in, or life would happen to make me kind of reevaluate. So
Yep.
it
It's
all
in your
started
blood. It's in your blood.
there.
There's no escaping it at this
Yes.
point. What is the one thing that, like back in those early days, that you wish somebody would have just told you that you didn't have to learn on your own, that you would tell somebody maybe now that's newer in the industry?
Don't be afraid to ask the question. You think that once you get a seat somewhere, or you're listening to a conversation, you think everybody has the answers, and you feel so small. And I went to a meeting. I think I shared this at a women's event. I went to a meeting, and I was sitting by my boss, and I was so nervous being there, and I didn't know what anybody was talking about, and I felt like an idiot. I'm like, I finally got to be at the meeting, and I'm an idiot. It's this whole imposter syndrome that everyone talks about. Like, I
Yeah.
am the idiot I thought I was. I was down on myself. And I walked out, and I turned to my boss at the time, and I said, what were they talking about? And he's like, I have no idea. And I was so surprised because I'm like, well, why didn't he ask? Why did we just sit through all that if no one knew? Like, what was the point of all of that if we didn't know what was happening? And so it kind of helped me get past a point where I'm like, well, if he doesn't know, I'm just going to ask. And when I started asking is when I started getting respect from people for
Mhm.
asking and for being genuine of, I don't get it. Can you please explain it to me? And it helped other people. And that's actually when I saw my career start to change.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's a great point, and that's a wonderful thing to point out to a new team member. Be the open book, and it creates a really great team when you're open to answering any question as well, or admitting that you don't know something. There's
Yeah,
nothing I love more. None of us know everything. I
no,
mean, and there are a lot of things that I've been in the industry for a long period of time that I still don't know or they're new. And so, what a great environment. I'm sure you've created that environment for your
I
team
hope
as well.
so. And
Yeah,
it keeps everybody on their toes too. It challenges them because a lot of times people are talking about stuff that they've forgotten about, parts of it along the way. So, yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. That's a great one. I love that. If you were in mortgage, what would you be doing?
changing the world. I always thought that I would do kind of international aid or international work, but I do think law would probably be my next step. I had looked at law school and life kind of happened, and I didn't end up going, but I think probably law would be a direction that I
Yeah,
would have gone in.
I can totally, totally see that. Um, Last thing, you've been part of the TMC family for a while.
Yes.
We love it that you're part of the TMC family. You're someone that I love to just hang out with and have a good time and have great conversations in our industry. What is your favorite thing about being in the TMC family?
Yeah, just that. I have genuine friendships across the board. And, I always joke around that I've got the Scarlet V as vendor written across, but it's not like that. I am on a text chain of women that I met through TMC. And we are writing to each other almost on the daily. And it goes from sharing things about our lives to asking questions that are pertinent to what's happening on a day to day. And each one of us has a different position, is a lender, is a vendor, is, all over the place. And we're consistently talking and helping each other out. And it's not about trying to be better than someone, it's a genuine friendship and collaboration. I mean, it sounds cheesy. I promise this is not a paid message. I've made some of my best friends in the industry at TMC, and that's the truth.
Yeah,
You all know
same.
who you are. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, same here. And I'll just also say that you make it very, very easy to be your
Ah,
friend.
thanks,
So,
Dave.
yeah. So thank you for doing this with me
This
today.
was fun. It was fast. It went
Yeah,
quick. Yeah.
yeah, fast and really super easy. So I appreciate you doing this. I can't wait to see you in just a
Can't wait
couple
to
of
see you. Yeah.
weeks.
It's soon. Yeah, it's like a week.
Yeah. All right.